Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. For this first official video of addressing the comments made about one of my cartoons, this will be the first of about like 12 maybe that I see being shared a lot by my ideological foes. This first one is a cartoon where I'm depicting an Orthodox Jewish figure, uh, letting my activist character know that he's on the right path and that he should continue doing what he's doing so his people can be free. You know, the reason why I made that one was because I want to encourage people who step out and do the right thing, even if it's just a word from their heart. You know, you do the right thing, that's praiseworthy. Do the right thing, and you should be encouraged in it. That's a good, like, we, as humanity, we need more of people um, stepping out of the box, stepping out of their comfort zone, and taking the risk to do the right thing. We need that. As a species, we need that. So that's what the essence of that cartoon represents: somebody who stepped outside of the norm to say an encouraging word to somebody they saw was, working hard towards bettering their lives, not in the way that uh, people normally say those things to Black Americans, you know, like certain of my uh, acquaintances who um, lean in a position where they don't think it's a good idea to fight the establishment or anything, because they think it's like, no, nothing's ever gonna change. We might as well just relax into systemic oppression and just do the best we can with what they give us. The people who think in that way, um, their version of an encouraging word is, you know, worthless. It might be of some value in a tiny moment for an individual insight of a tiny uh, piece of a path of their life. But in the long term, for us, for the Black American former slave class as an ethnic group, that any advice from that type of figure, the surrendering coward, does not do us any good. For the greater good of the people, we need bold change, bold righteous walk. That looked the way it looked during the '60s. During that heyday of the civil rights movement. When people came together, working politics. And made things happen for the group, like put laws in place, the Civil Rights Acts and the Voting Rights Acts, and put those in place for the group. You know, that type of movement is what's needed and built upon and more. You know, so if we're not making moves to uplift the entire group economically, the long held back promises of the past that we're still struggling with now. You remember that Guardian article and whichever information it's linking from, that's predicting pre-COVID, that's predicting the Black Americans' wealth will drop to like zero by 2053. Obviously, like, the promises that were put in place from the laws of the '60s were countered and redirected to somebody else. So I'm still, as a people, we're still like fighting for stuff that we were supposed to have already gotten. But today, my political, ideological rivals and foes pretend I already got that. you know. So when somebody recognizes the modern movement, like the hashtag ADOS, the modern movement picking up the baton that Dr. Martin Luther King uh, placed down from his assassination as an example. The modern movement picking that same baton up and like, let's move forward, for our people. So this figure that I'm caricaturing in that cartoon, he sees that and he's like, okay, people need to be able to, you're on the right path, and I'm going to let you know that. That's what my cartoon represented. Now, the real life guy that I'm caricaturing, he didn't go as far as all of that. He wasn't somebody that reached out to me personally. It was I was reading some article where the comment section was more interesting than the article. And the real life Orthodox Jewish guy, that's how he identified himself, but he was anonymous in the comments. He pointed out that in the Afrocentric schools, what they're doing right is by teaching that self-worth to their kids, to the black kids, that if you just send your kid to a Eurocentric school, they're going to learn to hate themselves. Lessons that we learned in Miseducation of the Negro in the book Islam, Christianity, and the Negro Race, and those type of where the message in those in that scholarship is like, how can you find self-worth in yourself inside of an alien culture that's directed towards this other people, and you gotta transform yourself and wish that you were the people this culture is actually talking to, so that you could feel that message. So if I send my kid into an alien school where the entire school is designed to uplift their own kids, how can my child lift him or herself up mentally in that environment without wishing that they were the people that they're actually talking about? That's the fundament. Remember Jack Vance's green magic story? That's the fundamental issue in that he's addressing in that he's learning green magic from these alien beings that green magic was created for, and he ended up giving up in a fit of depression because in the end he wasn't that people. So people are sharing this cartoon and putting their own spin on what they want it to mean, to disparage me and to say that I'm a certain way about whatever. But that's the actual point of that cartoon and where it actually came from. Don't listen to anybody else just making up nonsense about it. From the creator of this cartoon, the actual cartoonist who made it, this was my actual thoughts around it. This will be the first of several where I'm addressing this particular folio of cartoons that I see being exchanged all the time, presumably because these are the ones that's most easy to spin, because I'm also noticing the ones that they step over, that they conspicuously ignore, because you're just as loud in your silence as you are in your spin job, and you are seen. Until my next video clip, peace and thank you.